Hey everybody, welcome back to another SAT video. This question is from the official 2024 Practice Bundle 6 Math Module 2. Brian saves 2/5 of the $215 he earns each week from his job. If Brian continues to save at this rate, how much money in dollars will Brian save in 9 weeks? So this I would categorize as a easy problem because we really just have to do two things. We have to figure out how much money does he save each week of this 215? What is 2/5 of that? And then once we know how much money he saves each week, after 9 weeks, we just need to figure out how much money he saved in total, right? So let's start with this first part, right? So we basically need to figure out, okay, of his $215 per week, what is 2/5 of that? And the way to do that is simply just to multiply 215 by 2/5, and that's something you can do in your calculator very easily. But I'm just going to do it by hand just in case you want to learn that way. So what you can do is you can imagine 215 is just another fraction, right? 215 over 1, 215 divided by 1 is 215. But when you want to write it as a fraction, you just write it over 1, right? So what happens when you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerator by the other numerator and the denominator by the denominator, right? So let's see, this one will be 430, right? Because 215 times 2 will be 430. And then 1 times 5 is going to be 5, right? Now notice this number ends in a 0, so that means it is divisible by 5. So let's figure out what 430 divided by 5 is. That is going to be, let's see, 5 doesn't go into 1, or 5 doesn't get into 4. That's going to be 0. Does 5 go into 43? Yes, it goes into 43 8 times, because 5 times 8 is 40. Then we subtract, then we get 3 left over, bring the 0 down, and then we get 5 goes into 36 times, right? Because 5 times 6 is 30, and we are left with a remainder of 0. So we should know now that this fraction then evaluates into $86, right? So 2/5 of 215 is $86. Again, you could have easily done this in your calculator. I fully expect you guys to do it in your calculator, but for your own sake and your own learning pleasure, I usually write it out without a calculator. Just to make it very clear that you really don't even need a calculator to solve the SAT questions, but it does definitely speed you up, right? So we're not done actually right now. You might be tempted to be like, oh, okay, he saves $86 a week. That's the answer. Well, remember, we have this second part, right? We are asked to see how much money in total will he have saved after 9 weeks of saving at this rate, right? So all we got to do now is multiply 86 times 9, and that is going to be what? Well, 9 times 6 is 54, carry the 5, and then 9 times 8 is 72. So we put a 2 down here. Well, actually, we don't put a 2 down there because we got to plus the 5, right? So we get a 77, right? So our answer is 774. Again, you probably could have used your calculator to do all of this very quickly. So there you have it. That's how you solve this question. Pretty easy, right? I don't expect you guys to take too long on this one. If there is any way that I could improve these videos, please let me know in the comments below. Always check out Khan Academy. They got a lot of great resources for SAT and other subjects for self-study. And always, thanks for watching.